Episode number 347. Explain yourself, my lord, replied the prisoner, with majesty. For the way your words, I declare I do not understand them. Then you have no religion at all? I like that best, replied Lord de Winter, laughing. Certainly that is most in accord with your own principles, replied Milady, frigidly. Oh, I confess it is all the same to me. Oh, you need not avow this religious indifference, my lord, your debaucheries and crimes would vouch for it. What, you talk of debaucheries, Madame Messaline, Lady Macbeth? Either I misunderstand you, or you are very shameless. You only speak thus because you are overheard, coolly replied Milady, and you wish to entrust your jailers and young men against me. My jailers and my young men. Heyday, madame. You are taking a poetical tone, and the comedy of yesterday turns to a tragedy this evening. As to the rest, in 8 days you will be where you ought to be, and my task will be completed. Infamous task! Impious task! Cried Milady, with the exultation of a victim who provokes his judge. My word, said de Winter, rising, I think this is going mad. Come, calm yourself, Madame Puritan, or I'll remove you to a dungeon. It's my Spanish wine that has got into your head, is it not? But never mind, that sort of intoxication is not dangerous, and will have no bad effects. And Lord de Winter retired swearing, which at that period was a very nightly habit. Felton was indeed behind the door, and had not lost one word of this scene. Milady had guessed aright. Yes, go, said she to her brother. The effects are drawing near, on the contrary, but you, weak fool, will not see them until it is too late to shun them. Silence was re-established. 2 hours passed away. Milady's supper was brought in, and she was found deeply engaged in saying a prayer aloud, praise which she had learned of an old servant of her second husband, a most austere Puritan. She appeared to be in ecstasy, and did not pay the least attention to what was going on around her. Felton made a sign that she should not be disturbed, and when all was arranged, he went out quietly with the soldiers. Milady knew she might be watched, so she continued the praise to the end, and it appeared to her that the soldier who was on duty at the door did not march with the same step, and seemed to listen. For the moment she wished nothing better. She arose, came to the table, ate but little, and drank only water. An hour after, a table was cleared, but Milady remarked that this time Felton did not accompany the soldiers. He feared, then, to see her too often. She turned towards the wall to smile, for there was in this smile such an expression of triumph that this smile alone would have betrayed her. She allowed, therefore, half an hour to pass away, and as at that moment all was silence in the old castle, as nothing was heard but the eternal murmur of the waves, that immense breaking of the ocean, with a pure, harmonious, and powerful voice, she began the first couplet of the psalm then in great favor with the Puritans.